Hey guys, Zach Cherry here. I don't know about you, but one of my absolute favorite things to do ever is make random lists. So in this video, I'm gonna be making a list of what I think is the best horror movie from every year that I've been alive, going all the way back to 1985 and making our way to the present day. As always, guys, I need you to meet me in the comment section down below to let me know what your favorite horror movie is from every year that you've been alive. And if that's too much work for you, just let me know your favorite horror movie from the year you were born. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're finding yourself here for the very first time, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for more lists and rankings of all of your favorite horror movies. So moving on to the list now, how we're gonna do this is I have my laptop open. In Google search, I've typed horror movies preceded by the year in which we're looking them up, and what we're gonna get is a thumbnail poster of every horror movie that was available in that year at the top of the screen. So I'm gonna scroll through that list, and after some careful consideration, pick the one movie which I think is superior to all the others for that year, and so on, starting with 1985. So looking at this, we have Fright Night, Reanimator, Return of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Demons, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. I really love The Howling 2. It's probably like my favorite terrible movie ever. As much as this is probably one that I would watch over and over again, I don't think that quality-wise it is better than Reanimator, so I'm gonna have to pick Reanimator. For 1986, we have The Fly, Shopping Mall, April Fool's Day, Aliens. Honestly, I don't even think I need to look at the rest of this list because Aliens is the clear winner. Moving on to 1987, we have The Gate, Hellraiser, which is one of my favorite movies ever, The Lost Boys, Prince of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, which is another one of my favorite movies. This might be a showdown between Evil Dead 2 and Hellraiser. That's definitely coming down to those two movies. The question is, which one am I gonna pick? This is like the Sophie's choice of horror movies. Yeah, it's gonna be Hellraiser, just because Hellraiser is like a straight up horror movie. It's scary, whereas Evil Dead 2 is a lot of fun, but it's more of a comedy to me. 1988, we have Child's Play, Pumpkinhead, Night of the Demons, Hellraiser 2, Halloween 4, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Friday the 13th 7, Poltergeist 3. I don't know that I could pick one of the sequels to these slasher movies. As much as I love these killers, especially Michael Myers, you know, I would feel weird about saying that Halloween 4 was my favorite horror movie from 1988. Like, there's got to be something better. All right, and there is. I have They Live from John Carpenter, the best horror movie from 1988. From 1989, we have Shocker, Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, Halloween 5, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Pet Sematary, Leviathan, Howling 5, The Rebirth. That's actually one of my guilty pleasures. I don't know what it is about it. I feel like it's this Agatha Christie style whodunit, and it has such a good soundtrack for the kind of movie that it is. You know, this might be the worst year for all the slasher sequels because I feel like these entries with the Jason, Michael, Freddy are some of the worst in the franchise. Although I do kind of have a soft spot for Halloween 5. Like, in spite of the clown cops and Tina, there's something about that movie that I just really enjoy, and I have no idea what it is. But like I said, I can't choose one of these sequels. Like, they're just so stupid. Like, I'm not gonna say that's my favorite horror movie from 1989. I'm gonna lose all credibility here, and we're only 4 years in, but I'm gonna go with The Howling 5. Not Halloween 5, The Howling 5. If you haven't seen it and you can find it somewhere, I would actually recommend watching this. Like, it's a fun little movie. I also just wanna take a moment to point out that I'm only picking movies that I've seen, so for all I know, there could be like tons of really good 1989 movies on this list that I just don't know about, but it would be unethical for me to choose them, I guess. So moving on to 1990, we have Tremors, The Exorcist 3, we have Misery, Child's Play 2, Stephen King's It, Night of the Living Dead remake. Misery is a really good movie, but I'm gonna go with Child's Play 2 here. I passed over the original Child's Play, but I feel like Child's Play 2 is where Chucky really came into his own. This is the classic Chucky that we all know and love. It's funny, it's scary. Child's Play 2 is the best horror movie from 1990. 1991, the list just popped up and I see Silence of the Lambs, and Silence of the Lambs is like one of my top 10 horror movies, so I don't even need to look at the rest of this list. 1992, right at the front here is Candyman. I know that that's gonna be my favorite movie from 1992, as that is also another top 10 favorite of mine. I also see Dracula on here, and you know, that's a really good movie too, and Army of Darkness. I feel like those are good runners up, but Candyman is definitely the best horror movie here. And now we have 1993, which from the looks of it, this is ostensibly the worst year in horror movie history ever. We've got got Leprechaun, we've got Jason Goes to Hell, Body Snatchers, we have Trauma, which is Dario Argento. And I love Dario Argento, but Trauma is not a good Dario Argento movie. So I'm not gonna pick Trauma in spite of Jason Goes to Hell, and I'm not gonna pick Jason Goes to Hell. That's one of the fucking worst Friday the 13th movies. Witchboard 2, fun fact, is the first horror movie that I ever saw that is not going to be in contention as the winner, FYI. Ghost in the Machine, Night Terrors. Okay, I found one. This is a bit of a stretch, but it's on this list and I'm gonna go with it. It is The Good Son, the one with Macaulay Culkin where he's that sociopath little kid who tries to kill Elijah Wood. So 1994, I see Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I see Interview with the Vampire. Both are really excellent movies. I'm gonna go with Wes Craven's New Nightmare though, just so we can get Freddy Krueger on this list. Okay, in 1995, I see Demon Knight, I see the remake of Village of the Damned, Lord of Illusions, Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, Candyman 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation, Species. You know, I haven't seen Demon Knight in a really long time, but I remember enjoying it a lot from the few times I have seen it, so that's gonna be my pick for best horror movie of 1995. 1996, I don't even need to tell you what this is, but I'm going to. It is Scream. Scream is the best horror movie from 1996, possibly the 90s in general. So 1997, this is not gonna be a shock to any of you, but it's Scream 2. You know, if anyone wants to dispute this, you're more than welcome to, but Wes Craven was killing it in the 90s here. These are some of the other movies that didn't make it in 1997 for me. They're still good. Event Horizon, An American Werewolf in Paris, I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is, you know, an inferior version of Scream, essentially. Alien Resurrection, Cube, which is actually really excellent, but it's still gonna be Scream 2 here. Okay, I'm looking at 1998 here, and this might actually be the best year in horror movies. And like nothing here is really like great, but it's still like what it is really good, and there's so many of them. So we've got the original Ring, which I've never seen, so I can't, you know, obviously pick that here. But then we have The Faculty, we have Urban Legend, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, Bride of Chucky, Halloween H2O, John Carpenter's Vampires, Deep Rising, Phantoms, Disturbing Behavior, Blade. Even though I love a lot of these movies, to me, The Faculty stands out just a little higher than the rest of them. So that's gonna be my favorite horror movie from 1998. 1999, we have The Blair Witch Project, we have Sleepy Hollow, Audition, Ravenous, House on Haunted Hill, The Haunting, Lake Placid, The Sixth Sense, Stir of Echoes, End of Days, Idle Hands. So this again, this is like another year. We have a lot of movies that are not great, but they're all like just really adequate. I guess that's the perfect way to describe this. I feel like if I don't pick The Sixth Sense, there's gonna be people out for my blood. But the thing is, I just kind of find that movie to be boring. Like I don't find myself going back and rewatching it a whole lot. Like I've seen it once, you have the twist, and after that it's just like, okay, like we get it. The House on Haunted Hill remake is a lot of fun. That's a movie I could watch over and over again. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, so I think for 1999 best horror movie, I'm gonna go with House on Haunted Hill. Don't hate on me. Okay, 2000, we have Final Destination, Ginger Snaps, Scream 3, American Psycho, What Lies Beneath, Dracula 2000, Pitch Black, Urban Legends Final Cut, The Cell, and Hollow Man. Those two are really fun. So I think this is really coming down to Final Destination and Ginger Snaps. You know, they're both really great, well-written concepts. I haven't actually seen either of these in such a long time, and I'm going more on instinct here than memory. I think I'm gonna pick Final Destination, and only because this is a movie I reference all the time. I probably reference this movie at least like once a month. I'm always thinking about freak accidents and death, and this is a movie I can't forget. So, you know, that's kind of a testament to its longevity. 2001, I have The Others, which I haven't seen, Session 9, Jeepers Creepers, 13 Ghosts, Ghosts of Mars, Jason X, definitely not Valentine. We have Frailty, and I hear it's really good, but I've never seen it myself, so I can't consider that. But to me, Session 9 is the best horror movie here. If you haven't seen it, it is incredibly effective and creepy. 2002, we have The Ring, we have 28 Days Later, Ghost Ship, Resident Evil, Cabin Fever, Halloween Resurrection. How fucking mad would you guys be if I picked Halloween Resurrection? You know, I'm gonna have to go with 28 Days Later, as this is the movie that popularized zombies again. 2003, we've got House of a Thousand Corpses, which I've never seen. Honestly, honestly not a huge fan of Rob Zombie. House of the Dead, Wrong Turn. I actually really love Wrong Turn. Darkness Falls, Final Destination 2, Freddy vs. Jason, Jeepers Creepers 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. There's also High Tension. And that was a pretty interesting, intense movie. But I still think like with Wrong Turn, that's a movie that I can watch over and over again. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Wrong Turn. 2004, we have Saw, Dawn of the Dead remake, The Grudge, Seed of Chucky, Shaun of the Dead, Resident Evil Apocalypse, Blade Trinity. When I see movies like Saw and Dawn of the Dead, like I know there's nothing gonna be better than those. So it's kind of coming down to between those two movies, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Saw on this one, mostly because I haven't actually seen Dawn of the Dead in a long time. But I also really do love Saw. It was, you know, quite inventive and also like a really good callback to some of my favorite horror movies from the 70s. So because of that, Saw, 2004, best horror movie. 2005, right at the forefront, I see The Descent. I know that's gonna be the winner. I'm just gonna look through a few more here. I see House of Wax, I see Hostel, Land of the Dead, The Ring 2. Yeah, the farther I go, like everything here just looks like shit. So this is going to be The Descent. 2006, we have Silent Hill. I've never seen that, so I can't, you know, consider that. The Hills Have Eyes remake, Saw 3, Stay Alive, Behind the Mask, Black Christmas remake, The Omen remake, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning, When a Stranger Calls remake, Touristas, Final Destination 3, The Grudge 2, The Wicker Man remake. This is like the year of the remake. I don't really love any of those remakes, to be perfectly honest, but I did enjoy Behind the Mask, so I'm gonna have to pick that for 2006 best horror movie. 2007, we have 28 Weeks Later, 30 Days of Night, Dead Silence, 1408, The Mist, Record, Hostel Part 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween, Saw 4, Paranormal Activity. Honestly, the first Paranormal Activity I did really like. I thought that was a very interesting concept. You know, it hadn't really been done. You know, we had that like found footage, but not in this style. And to me, demonic possessions and house hauntings are some of the more scarier concepts. But I see Grindhouse on here and I love Grindhouse. And yeah, I'm gonna pick Grindhouse as one movie, the two combined Planet Terror, Death Proof, as that's how it was originally shown in the theater, and that's the best horror movie from 2007. 2008, we have The Strangers, The Ruins, Let the Right One In. I actually much prefer the remake of that one. Cloverfield, Saw 5, One Missed Call, Prom Night remake. You know, to me, like, I like The Strangers. I just find, you know, it's kind of generic. We've seen this movie done before. We've seen it done after, but it's still the best movie out of these options. So for 2008, I'm gonna have to go with The Strangers. 2009, we have Drag Me to Hell, The Last House on the Left remake, Case 39, The Haunting in Connecticut, My Bloody Valentine 3D, Friday the 13th remake, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, The Final Destination, Jennifer's Body, Zombieland, The Grudge 3, and The Human Fucking Centipede. I mean, not as bad as 1993 horror, but this is still pretty shitty. How did we ever get through this decade? I've only seen Drag Me to Hell once, but I remember enjoying it, so I'm gonna go with Drag Me to Hell, 2009 best horror movie. Okay, things are getting a little bit better here. So 2010, I see Insidious, I see Let Me In, which is the remake of Let the Right One In, The Crazies remake, Piranha 3D, Devil, Frozen, not the Disney one, the chairlift one, absolutely not the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, not Resident Evil Afterlife. You know, as much as I do like Let Me In better than the original, I still think that Insidious is the better movie out of everything here. And I'm not even a huge fan of that franchise, but I still enjoyed it enough that I feel comfortable saying that that is my 2010 best horror movie. 2011, we have Final Destination 5, Scream 4, Paranormal Activity 3. We have Your Next. Okay, you know what? This is obviously the winner. Your Next is another one of those movies that I really love. Like, it might not be top 10, but it's certainly top 20 for me. Oh, we also have Cabin in the Woods. And I feel terrible because you'd think that like whatever year Cabin in the Woods came out, that would be the best movie of that year. But it's gotta be Your Next. Like, that movie's just stupid good. For 2012, I see Sinister, The Possession, VHS, Paranormal Activity 4, Chernobyl Diaries, Silent Hill Revelation, Woman in Black. Like, I'm looking through this list and there's a lot of movies that I haven't seen, but the ones I have seen, I just like, I don't love them. You can still see the growing pains of where the horror movies are coming from and where they're eventually gonna end up going. Like Sinister, I only saw it once in the theaters and 2010, there were so many things about it that I just hated so much. I don't think it's a bad movie, but it just pissed me off. I see Prometheus on this list, and this is another one that I've only seen once. I thought it was good, but I just like, I don't remember it. Like, it wasn't memorable to me. This is one of those movies that I don't feel great about picking as my favorite, but like, just based on the fact that I haven't seen a lot of horror movies from this year and the ones that I have seen are shit, I am gonna have to go with Prometheus. 2013, we have The Conjuring, another one that I'm not crazy about. There's the Evil Dead remake, which I absolutely adore. Insidious 2, Mama, The Curse of Chucky, the remake of Carrie, Oculus, which is a really good one, Texas Chainsaw 3D. I'm gonna have to go with Evil Dead because as far as remakes go, it's one of the few that I actually really enjoy. And I also feel kind of bad for shafting Evil Dead 2 earlier on for Hellraiser. So Evil Dead 2013. 2014, right off the bat, there is The Babadook. I know that that is the best horror movie, but just so you know what else was going on this year, As Above, So Below, Annabelle, It Follows, Tusk, and Ouija. So 2014 is The Babadook. 2015, we have The Final Girls, Krampus, both of which I haven't seen. There's The Witch, which I just watched for the first time the other night. Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension, Poltergeist remake. For me, The Invitation is definitely the best horror movie. You don't see a lot of movies like this one where your expectations are just flipped completely on their head. So just the unpredictability of this story puts it at the top of my list for 2015. 2016, we have Don't Breathe and we have Hush. Those are the first two options. Those are probably the best ones. Like, I'll go through the rest of the list, but you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna come down to those two. I haven't even seen The Conjuring 2. Lights Out, I thought was complete trash. The Autopsy of Jane Doe was actually a pretty decent movie. Same with Ouija, Origin of Evil, and 10 Cloverfield Lane. I didn't see Blair Witch, and I didn't love Split. And then The Void, as much as I love the callbacks to that John Carpenter era of horror movies, it just didn't fully do it for me like I hoped it would. So yeah, like I said, it's either Don't Breathe or it's Hush, but I'm gonna have to go with Don't Breathe because it's so much more intense. 2017, we have Get Out, It Comes at Night, which I haven't seen, Annabelle Creation, I haven't seen, Happy Death Day, it's definitely not Alien Covenant, probably not Cult of Chucky either, Jigsaw, I haven't seen, Bye Bye Man, I probably will never see, haven't seen Rings, and I haven't seen Leatherface. Like, the clear winner here for me is Get Out, and it's just been like part of this progressive shift that we've seen in the genre that's just constantly evolving year after year, rather than just following trends and sticking with the same thing until it gets stale. 2018, we have Hereditary, we have A Quiet Place, which I haven't seen. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, so I feel might be the best horror movie, but since we're only going by the ones that I've seen, I can't pick it. Suspiria remake, I saw it in the theater once, I did not get it. I didn't love it. I feel like I need to rewatch it just to understand it a little better. Halloween 2018, you know, it was an okay movie. You know, I really hope that this trilogy that this has started kicks things up into high gear with Halloween Kills, because I just don't think that this movie was sufficient enough on its own. I didn't see The Nun, and I didn't see Strangers Pray at Night, and I definitely didn't see Slender Man. So yeah, going by this list, I'm gonna have to say that the best horror movie from 2018 is Hereditary. So if you're wondering where my 2019 best horror pick is, well, I don't have it yet. There's still a lot of horror movies from 2019 that I haven't watched, so that's probably all gonna be explored and ranked in a future video where we're gonna find out which one of them is the best. If you guys enjoyed this list, you can also check out my rankings of all the Ghostface killers from Scream from worst to best. Don't forget to give me your list in the comments down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Zach Cherry, and I'll be right back.